Hey guys, Gary Blevins here. I was going to do a video tonight, kind of dual purpose. This is my DIY Bowpress, homemade Bowpress that I built. Well, I didn't build it by myself, but I had some help with the welder, a guy I know that welds good, and basically kind of going over how it works and review on it. And I'm going to actually be using it to install a Peep sight on a bow for a guy. So if you want to learn how to build this Bowpress, I'm not going to take any credit for it whatsoever because this came straight off of Archery Talk. There's a ginormous thread on the Archery Talk forum. I think it's called "Let's Build an Inline Slimline Together," something along that nature. Anyway, tons of awesome information. Guy on there, I think on the forums, 92 Safari or Safari 92, and he had some very awesome detailed instructions on how to put one together. And that's what we done. I went and bought them, and actually the fingers themselves I bought from him. I think he still sells them on there. You'd have to go and investigate that on the forum, but basically that's probably where the most expense on this was these fingers, because he sent me the knobs and the springs and adjustments and all that stuff. So I had 150 in that, and I had probably less than 150 in the rest of it. So basically I went to a metal sales place, bought all the tubing. I went to Tractor Supply and I bought a trailer jack, and that's where I got the Acme rod that's inside here. I found this awesome wheel and a junk pile, some old parts. It's actually from a gearbox to open and close windows on an old greenhouse. That's what that come from. But anyway, it works just like an easy press basically, except I had like $300 in it instead of $1,200 or whatever they cost now. I know they're pretty expensive. So basically, you get your limbs in there. This is the only downfall, I think, to this style of Bowpress is while you're waiting for the bow to catch into it, you have to kind of hold it there. Alright. So, that was simple. Put it in the press. When you're installing a Peep sight, if you've never done that before, it's not overwhelmingly difficult. You're basically going to relax the string just a little bit. You don't have to take a ton of tension off. You're not breaking it down. You just need to be loose enough so that you can basically open the fibers in the string. So what you're going to do is you're going to measure, and somewhere usually around 5 to 6 inches, 5.5 inches or so from your knot point to where your Peep's will sit. That's going to be different for everybody depending on your height. Depending on everybody's a little bit different. So I'm going to measure this with a good old T-square. Alright, see where it needs to go. I have a handy dandy string separator tool. You can get this for a bunch of different places. The easiest is probably if you went to Lancaster or Archery Supply online. I would have bet they got probably multiple different styles and models. But I actually bought this one in a lot of old hunting and archery equipment the guy was selling. He was moving, and so I bought all of his stuff. So always looking for deals like that. So basically, I really almost didn't even need that for this string. basically use that, you separate the bowstring out, right? So we'll grab the Peep sight. And this guy's new to archery, so I'm installing a tube Peep because it's foolproof. Also, this being a cheaper bow, nothing wrong with that. It's a beginner bow. Strings are usually not the best, and it's really hard on some of them to train your Peep. So getting your Peep to line up the right way every time, you gotta do a bunch of nonsense. Sometimes the higher quality strings you have, the better, you know, you get away from that. But on a tube Peep, basically, if you know what that is, you got a piece of tubular rubber webbing, or not webbing, rubber tubing. It attaches the back of this, and it pulls it open every time. I don't like about it, it's something extra, kind of pulling on your string. From an accuracy standpoint, I don't know that it makes a ton of difference, probably doesn't, but it does make noise, and I'm not really cool with that. But for beginners, I think this is your absolute best option. So I'm just going to put this Peep in here. Be real careful, make sure you get all the fibers set down in the track where they need to be. Alright, remeasure, see where I'm at exactly. About right on the money, maybe down just a little bit. So now I'm actually going to go ahead and just make sure we start putting pressure back on your string. Just watching how everything goes back into your Peep there. Just take your time, be careful. I haven't done a ton of these. I'm not a pro, I'm not an expert, but I've tinkered around a little bit. And see, even me just letting that back down, taking the pressure off of it, that D loop is turned, so when it pulls, its Peep would not be in the right position. But like I said, if you're using a regular Peep sight, you have to kind of train them a little bit. And for beginner, this is a pretty good option. So then once you get it in there, you take the tube, you slide it up over the barb on one end. Then you're just going to tie this off to your cable. And I'll take it off there and make sure it's in good shape. You don't have to tie some crazy super knot. Just it's rubber, it sticks itself in, so it stays on there pretty easy. But that's pretty much it. But if you have any questions about my Bowpress build, or I should have done a better job of going over that build and everything and how I done that. But if you have any questions about it, I'll try to leave the link to the the thread where I got all the information from. But there's some really good information out there, and you can make a good Bowpress just as good as what you can buy, and maybe even better. I know personally I like this because I made a workbench here, and the frame's metal, and so actually I'll build a tubing on the end of it, so this Bowpress actually slides on to the end of it. But then also have a stand it slides onto, so if I wanted to take it somewhere, I could do that. But that's pretty much it. So questions, leave them in the comments, and thanks for watching, and please subscribe to the channel.